Yeah, I posted a 20-minute video about the NBA. It sucks too because it was, Chauncey Billups. He's from Denver. Been a big part of the community here. But Chauncey was playing in illegal poker games. Not just playing in illegal poker games, but being the face mask, as they called it, for the Mafia to rig poker games.
Dude, waking up to that story yesterday, it just got crazier and crazier. And then it was like, okay, NBA folks that are involved with like illegal poker, okay, they were cheating during it, like X-ray vision, like glasses, the cameras, the shuffle, the whole things. And then it was like, oh, and it's also tied to the Mafia. It was like, oh,
the Italian Mafia. The Italian Mafia.
We're back, baby.
I mean, they were using cheating butt plugs to help the card games. It was crazy.
What?
Yeah, when you got the hand to bet on, you get a little tickle. And that's how
right in the shoe.
Tom and I were talking about the NBA stuff right before the show.
Yeah.
And I think I was thinking about it, and it's a big problem if you've got players altering their stat lines to hit, their prop bet, right? And that's what Terry Rozier was doing. He took himself out of a game basically with a fake injury. There's like clips of him just playing just awful basketball, right?
The highlights of him just like,
yeah. I think there's a simple solution there in that and I think Florio mentioned this, that the sports books basically to solve this problem for the NBA in terms of keeping it fair for fans is you can't have single player prop bets. The company I work with, right, is not a sports book. It is considered daily fantasy. In a
sports novel.
You have to have multiple player entries for those specific types of plays, right? That's how they view it, like the legality of it, the technicality of it, if you will. So in the NBA, I think it's a bigger issue because a single player can alter their stat total. In the NFL, just look at last night. Quentin Johnston had 0 targets. That's not Quentin Johnston, right? You can't control when Justin Herbert sees him open. So the NFL, I think, is safer from this type of thing in that it's harder for a single player to affect their single stat line. The NBA, I think, there's if you take away the single player prop bets, and I don't know if they will, but I'm saying that's one way they could solve that for the NBA without having to do a lot. And it's that part of it sucks, right? Because then you've got all these people who think, oh, the NBA is completely rigged. And it takes away from all this really good basketball that was played last year. And this
last night,
the Nuggets game was insane. The Thunder game was crazy. And I was watching the Nuggets last night and Aaron Gordon goes off. He's just draining threes. And then that motherfucking Steph Curry, dude, just from 50 feet beyond the arc, it's going in. And it's you can't defend that guy.
No.
It makes you mad, but then you just appreciate how good Curry is.
So good.
Also, my take is Steph Curry, still the worst celebration in sports, Tom. This lame. I've never been so mad by a guy just moving his shoulders at me. But yeah, it takes away from a lot of good basketball. It's a problem. They got to figure it out. I think there's solutions to it, but I think we should let the Mafia find those solutions for us. Way better celebration. Way better celebration.
Yeah, the NBA thing is wild, man, because there's 2 separate stories there, right? So it's the illegal poker, which is they stole millions of dollars from high valued folks. There was $1.8 million from one dude, which they basically were hey, you can come play with NBA stars, right? And then the game was completely and totally rigged and they lost millions of dollars. So there's that aspect of it. You have the...
That kind of feels like a victimless crime to me, though, Tom.
If you got a $1.8 million to blow on a poker game?
Yeah, on illegal poker games. You're not going to a World Poker Tour event. You know, you're not playing in a high stakes game in Vegas or wherever those things are regulated. That's kind of on you. I wish it was just that story because it would have been a lot more fun.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. You got NBA head coaches. Dude, like that. What do you even tell your team? What do you tell your team after that?
Which one? With the NBA?
Yeah.
I say,
sure, JC.
I say just win the game, guys. Just go out there and win the game. And I won't have to worry about you being investigated for throwing your stat lines.
Yeah. I mean, you just go out there in Portland and you're like, all right, guys, let's make sure we have a good game. Don't mind the DraftKings sponsorship that's on the jersey. Let's go out there and have ourselves a good time. And then, of course, there's because there was only one active player, right?
That was arrested?
Yeah.
Yeah, Terry.
Because he was the one who was giving his buddy saying like, hey, bet the under here. He made like a couple $100,000 and he like threw the game. So
Terry Rozier, $160 million in career earnings.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. $160 million. And he's just like, hey, man, like, let's throw away not only my career, but also now compromise the integrity of the entire sport. Yeah. And also, you know, we're going to get in significant legal trouble as well. It's just well played all around.
Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah. But I mean, Malik Beasley is still being looked at too by the FBI in the situation. Once their investigation wraps up, and they said it's ongoing, and with this current FBI, like who the hell knows exactly what that means? This becomes, because this is a big story, but this becomes like a real problem if there are multiple players they find in multiple games. Because right now, even Terry's stuff was a game that they have this evidence for in 2023, right? It's not like this is suddenly every night, every NBA game, you've got a guy out there just like shit in the bed for a couple.
Brandon, like this is the problem, right? Like I'm getting questions in the chat of like, hey, like, is this something that could happen with the NFL? Is this something that's because this is the problem when you have gambling that's so, because again, you're a grown ass person, you do what you want with your money, right? That's where I'm at. But the idea that they are so closely embedded, and especially with the NBA, who has a history in which like you have questioned the integrity of the game, right? It just opens the door for more people to do the wrong thing. And when it's easy and it's accessible, that's when there is going to be potential problems. And I feel like as a viewing audience, right? So Adam Silver, who you and I were talking about right before this show went live, right? Yeah. Under scrutiny for a while. I didn't like him because he was, what was that, a month ago? He was like, oh, well, when he asked about accessibility to the game and tickets are more expensive, you can't watch the games, right? Because they're on all these different platforms now, which is also for a whole bunch of different sports leagues. And he's we're a highlight-based game.
Yeah, last night I couldn't get the Nuggets game until the second quarter because the other game went into overtime, right? Yeah. Like not even having the option to watch the game you want on the network you want to that is broadcasting it. When I think that's an easy thing they could do, it's the opposite of forward thinking.
Yes. So like I
can't get it out of my head either.
Big boo.
It lives in there, rent free.
But that's ultimately going to be the issue, right? And so they'll do like a whole investigation. And it's exactly like you said, if there's more players, like, and then you're talking about Silver potentially having a hand and saying like, hey, let's sweep this under the rug a little bit.
Yeah. Or just like give it a pass and say, let's not do this again. Because the NBA looked into Terry Rozier and they cleared him basically. Mm-hmm. Or they were still looking into it and they hadn't made a decision. It kind of changed through the course of the day yesterday. I think it was Brian Windhorst's reports on it later in the day. They were kind of damning for the NBA and for the commissioner. You just hope they nip it in the bud. And I think one...
I didn't hear that. That's messed up. Yeah.
One, the legalization of sports betting, across all the states... The victim here's the Mafia, Tom. They lost a lot of money when sports betting became legal, okay? That was their racket. And that's kind of relevant here because what did they
someone think of the poor Mafia?
They shifted probably to more of these high-stake card games because of that. which is wild. The other part of it is the sports books are very heavily regulated. They're the ones reporting the suspicious activity, right? The sports book reported the suspicious betting activity on Terry Rozier. So and in the NBA, this shit has gone on for a very long time. But do you think the Mafia would ever be reporting that? No, because back in the day, they were the ones getting the players to do that shit. So
way to throw Mafia accountants right under the bus, Perna. They work hard too. Okay,
they do.
Unbelievable.
They do.
Sorry, but real quick, the point that I was going to make is if you have, because there are folks who are going to hear this story, right? And they're either not going to get the entire thing or they're going to read the story and go, I'm done watching the NBA. You're not going to make it accessible. You're going to make it more difficult, more expensive to watch. And I got to worry about this crap. Then I'm just going to stop watching. So the NBA's got a little bit of a problem on their hands. And
then you had that ref get suspended in the SEC, right? There's a whole bunch of integrity shit going on. Not Tom and I. Nobody questions our integrity. Wrong. NFL mouthpiece. Here we come.
That's right. When will the NFL refs be caught by the FBI?
Hopefully soon, man.
I'm hoping tomorrow. I'm hoping tomorrow they bust down those doors and they're like, hey, as long as they can retroactively go back and arrest the replacement refs for the Fail Mary, then, because that's when politicizing, the Justice Department's fine. That's when it's fine.
Yeah.